In this tutorial, we're going to create a script that will point to a specific directory. It will access a directory, gather all the files within that directory, archive them using the tar command, then compress them using the gzip, and finally, the final name of the compressed and archived file, which would have the extension of .tar.gz, will have the name of the original directory that we pointed to, concatenated to the actual timestamp, which would be the year value, the month, the day, and the hour, all the way to the number of seconds of that time. Okay? So, first of all, we are in the Ubuntu terminal. Now, keep in mind, first of all, we're using here the gedit. The gedit, let's say you don't have it already. So I need to install it using sudo apt install gedit, which is an editor, and it has the advantage of highlighting the script, the shell script, so it would be clearer for us what we're writing. Now, here, what we have on the desktop, I've already created the file, which is the timestamp archiver.shell. That would be the bash script. Of course, in order to create it, I will do the same thing, which is gedit timestamped archiver.sh, and next to it an ampersand in order to open and create a file. Here, the content, first of all, before pressing enter, this is the content, which is it's actually a directory having all the files that we're gonna archive and compress. Okay, both of them, the script and the content, are on the desktop, okay, to make things a little bit easier. Now, I'm gonna open the editor. Let's check. Also, we can check the content of the desktop from here. If I type ls content, it will display for me all the file types existing within the content directory. We have sound waves, we have text, we have JPEG. Great. So let's start creating the shell script, or the bash script rather. So at first, I'm gonna start with hash exclamation point /bin/bash, which will tell the system, the operating system, that we're writing here a bash script. Now, also another thing to point to is that the archive format, by the way, here it's a comment. Everything right next to a hash is a comment. It will not actually execute when we run the code. So the archive format would be the directory name dash the date, which would be the year in 4 digits, the month, the day, and then the hour, minute, and seconds. Okay? Of course, .tar.jz. Okay? Needless to say. So, okay, we're gonna keep it like this in one line. So you have year, month, and day. After that, the hour value with the minutes and the seconds. So at first, I need to point to something. Now, in order to extract the date, here's what we do. So you have the command date, which will give us this output. You see here, we have different fields, by the way. If we consider the separation or the separator to be the space, these would be the fields. The first field, second field, third field, fourth field, fifth, sixth, seventh. So we have a command. Let's say I want to extract only the year value. I type date, then I pipeline it in order to avoid displaying it on the console. I'm not interested to have it on the console. I need it to become the input for the next command. This is why the redirection using the pipeline. The pipeline is a redirection syntax. So, and I'm going to use the cut command. What cut will do is when we specify the delimiter, which is the space, -d, okay, space, and we type after that -f, which stands for field, and so once we separate all of that line using this delimiter, all these blocks become fields. So the first field, second, all the way to the seventh. The year is the seventh field, so dash F7, and when we type enter, we will get the year value. Okay, let's say I'm gonna extract the hour over here. So I type date, pipeline cut, dash D, again the separator is the space, dash F, which one is the hour? That would be the first, second, third, fourth field. That is the fourth field, and remember the separator is not the semicolon over here but the space. So dash F4 will give us what? The hour value. Now let's say I'm interested in getting only what? This part of the hour, which is the hour value without the minutes and the second. So what shall I do? I type date, pipeline cut, dash D, space, dash F4. Now this so far will give us what? This entire value, okay? This entire hour, but I'm interested only in getting the first part. So I'm gonna pipeline it to another command, which is another cut, dash D. Now here, this time the separator would be a semicolon, and we place it in a single quote because it's one character. It's not like an empty, the space is enclosed in double quotes. Here it's a single character with a single quote, okay? So, and we type also dash F. Now here, this time the field would be the first field, the hour value. Okay, so dash F, okay. So cut, dash D, single quote, dash F1, delimiter must be a single character, yeah. That's the single character over here. It should work. Okay. You see? Okay, we needed to space the dash F from the semicolon, the quoted semicolon. Okay, we didn't have a space, so it worked. You see? We've gotten only the hour value which we were interested for. So going back to the script, first of all, I need to create the directory variable. Actually, directory here does not mean anything. It can be named whatever you want, but directory here will be the variable that will hold the input of the user. Okay, so by default it will be empty, so that when we run the command, if it was still empty, the archiving will take place on the local directory, okay, on the local place. So here the directory will point to the actual directory that we want to archive, okay. Then the target location, yeah, actually the target location is whenever it's empty, okay, then the directory to be archived will be archived locally without going to another place, okay, to be more specific. And here notice something, the equal should be attached to the variable name, otherwise when you see this change of column, it means that it's an error over here. Okay, it won't work. It will give you a syntax error. Great. So at first, another thing to point to here before continuing. So again, if we type date, you see the second field here is a string value of the months. I'm not interested in the string value. I need to get the number of the months. So January is the first month, February, the second has a value of 2, etc. So I need to actually get the value of the months rather than the string name of the months itself, okay? These three characters here. So what I'm gonna do is placing this month inside of an array, okay? So we type declare -a to declare an array, months array I'm gonna call it. Then months array is equal to, okay, I think I've saved them, you see? So we have January, February, March, all the way to December, and next, after that, like when we're done with everything, I'm gonna write a loop in order to detect which months here, which value actually is compatible or is equal to the actual months, which is August right now, and we extract the index from the for loop and we add to it 1 because the index always starts at 0. We're gonna see that in a while. Okay, after a while. Now, at first, let's prompt the user. So we type echo choose the files directory, and here the format of the file directory should be something like desktop/my folder, and I'm gonna read is like cin in C++. It reads the input and places it inside what the directory variable we created over here. You see, that's the same variable. Then another echo, and I ask the user to choose the storing location. So example home slash, and I read the storing location, which is the target location over here, target lock. After that, let's start extracting the year, the month, the day, the hour. First of all, year equal. Okay, so here in order to execute a Linux command and place the result inside this variable, I need to enclose the Linux command inside these two single quotes, which are not single quotes. Here is the caveat. Okay, these are not single quotes. These are this character over here. You see, the character here is not this quote here. It is the single quote right behind the one on the keyboard. Okay, so year equal, and you see they are stitched together without spacing so that it won't give us an error, execution error. So in order to get the date, we type date, then pipeline it to cut, -d, the delimiter, space, and here is the space inside the double quotes, which is the delimiter. You see, looking back again here, date gives us this line, and when we designate the separator, the delimiter, as the space, we get different fields over here. Okay, so that's the first field, second field, third, fourth, 5, 6, 7. So the year is on the 7th field. So -d and -f, we want to get the 7th field. Now they, as you see, we left out the months because the months has a unique processing. We need to get the month's value, numeric value, from this array here. We'll get to it later. Okay, so I'm sorry. Day and this single apostrophe, which is not a quote, equal date, pipeline cut -d, delimiter, which is a space, -f, and the day is the third one here, so -f3. Okay, this is the day value here. Okay, after that, the hour equal. Now for the hour, there's something we need to do because I need the hour, okay, the entire hour all the way to the seconds. However, I need to get rid of this semicolon here, okay, but because it's not actually an acceptable character in a directory name, right, or in a file name. So what we need to do is date, I pipeline it. Okay, let's clear the screen first. So first of all, date. Now date cut -d. At first I need to extract what? This field over here, which is the entire clock value, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it would be the fourth field. Then I redirect it again to what? To a command called the trim. So what tr does is it trims from this value, from this field, a specific character. In our case, it would be the semicolon. Okay, so this is how it works. So at first, let's run this without the trim. You see, we've gotten the hour. Then after I pipeline it to tr, I define the delimiter, which this time is the semicolon, okay, without the apostrophe, because trim is a different command. And you see we've gotten the hour, minute, seconds without the semicolon. So this is what we're gonna do over here. So I'm gonna copy it, then we need to enclose it with the apostrophe over here and paste. Okay, great. Now for the months, we're gonna get the months value from here, okay, but then we're gonna loop through this array in order to see which index is that month. Okay, so months str, months string value, is equal to date cut dash d, of course the delimiter is also a space, dash f, and which field is the month? It is the second field over here, so dash f2, right? Great. Now I need to go inside a for loop. So for great, I place two parentheses in order to execute this command, which is a mathematical command. Okay, so I will declare an index I starting from 0, because the for loop usually starts from 0, right? For I equals 0, because every table has the first index on 0, that's why, okay? Always the first index of a table, just like in C++, is accessible on at index 0. So for I equals 0, then the condition is as long as I is less than, okay, the length of the months array. Now here is how we get the length of the months array. First of all, I type a $sign to access the value, a specific value of the array. Now, then a hash symbol. This hash symbol gives us a numerical value, not a string value. Okay, so I type months array, and here in these two brackets, I type the add symbol. Okay, the add symbol, this means that I want to get the entire size of the months array, or the number of elements. Okay, then after that I need to increment the I, so that for each time it loops inside the for, it will increment by 1. It will be added to 1. So it starts from 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. until it gets to the size of the months array. So if the size 6, it won't loop for it, right? Because why? Because from 0 to 5, it will give us 6. That's why I should always be less than the size of the array, okay, the number of the elements within the array. So for, and this is how the syntax works. You have point apostrophe. Okay, do is like opening the curly brackets for the for loop in C++, and we close it by done. Now here we need to do the processing inside the for loop. So I need to check if the months str, which has been given by this command here, which takes the current months in string value from the date, if the months str is equal to the months array, here is how we get the months array at index 0. Okay, so dollar, we open curly braces, months array, then the brackets. Okay, and in order to access the value of I place dollar before, right before it, and then I close the if statement, semicolon. Then here I'm entering the if statement, and in order to close the if statement, I type phi. So this is the syntax of the if statement. If, okay, this condition is met, semicolon, okay, then I type then, and this is the body of the if statement, and phi is the end of it. Okay, so if months SCR is equal to months array at index I, the months here we're creating the numerical value of the months. The months is then equal to what? I'm gonna open two parentheses to get a numerical value. The months would be equal to the value of I, the index, plus 1. Why? Because the index is not starting from 1. It's starting from 0 at January. Meanwhile, January is the first month, so we need to add 1. I hope it is clear. So, great. After that, another thing I need to do is that, let's say the month's value is equal 8. Like for August, it is 8. Now, I need to always have it as 2 digits. So, 8 should be 08. Meanwhile, if it's 10 or greater than 10, let's say if the month is the 10th month, I won't need to add a 0 on the left side. So, I'm only adding the 0 to have it always in the format of 2 digits, 2 characters. The same thing I need today to do for the day. So if the day value is less than 10, I need to add a 0 on the left. If not, I will leave it as it is. So how do we actually do that? So I type if dollar and I get the value of the months, dollar months. Here, by the way, dollar and parentheses, meaning that what's being processed on the inside of these two parentheses here, okay, is actually a mathematical statement, okay? So if dollar months is less than 10, and then I need to close the if statement here, then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add to it, okay, so months will be equal to this string character, this string chain, if you will. It would be equal to 0 concatenated to the actual value of the months. So let's say it's the 5th month, it will give us 05. Then I need to close the if statement by phi, which is the reverse of if you notice, okay? So if the its closing is phi, it is the inverse, okay? Another if statement for the day. So if dollar, okay, so if the value of the day is less than 10, then what I need to do is the day should be equal to 0 concatenated to the actual value of the day. This is how I do it, and then I complete the if statement by also phi. Finally, I need to tar, which is the archiving of the file, okay? Tar -cvf is the script. C means create, V verbose means tell me which files have been archived, and F is stands for files, the files that are being archived. Now, here's the syntax of tar. Tar -cvf, the final file name, which would be, and the location also, let's say home, desktop, foo.tar, let's say, okay, and next to it the directory to be archived, the directory where the files exist that need to be archived. So let's say it is home/desktop/content, okay? So tar-cvf, okay, now here I open these double quotes and I need to address the target location. I need to call the target location that was added from the prompt by the user. You see, this is target location. I'm accessing its value, which will, by the way, inherently have a /, so no need to add a / over here. We stitch it to the directory name. Next to it, a dash, which is only a dash, okay? It will appear as a dash inside the file name. and then I need to get the year value, the months, all of what we've extracted formally, the months, then day, then the hour, and finally .tar, which is the name of the file. Next to it, the directory that has been called over here. Of course, the user had entered the directory with the full pass of it, with the full pass, okay? So here next to it is the directory variable value, okay? The value of the directory. Next to it, I need to what? To compress that tar file. I do it using gzip. -f means forceful compression, and I need to get all of that file over here, place it over here, okay? So it will gzip this entire file, which is a tar file, okay, and it will add to its extension .gz, okay? Finally, what I'm gonna do is echo, okay, stored at, and the target where this archived compressed file has been stored. So it would be target loc, next to it what? Directory. Okay, so we save it. Now clear ls again. Okay, so first of all, I need to change the access mode of time stamped archiver because it might not be executable. So how I do it is I type chmod plus x, meaning I gave the right to execute it. It became executable. So if I type ls-l, you see, now we can execute it. We can actually write it and execute it at the same time. Even other people can execute it. The other groups, the other outside of the group can execute it, but they cannot edit it or write it. So let us run this command, this script, which is on the desktop where we are right now. Okay, timestamped archiver.sh. Okay, choose the file directory. The directory to actually tar and compress is named content. Okay, the storing location, I'm gonna press enter, meaning it will compress it and archive it locally. Okay, and we will see that. Okay, so here on line 34 we have an error. Let's check what that is. Okay, unexpected token. Perhaps I need to distance it from here. Line 34. Yeah. Then let's run it again. Okay, content. Okay, storing location, enter, and you see, okay, these are the files that have been archived. So if I type ls, you see, this is the final name of the file. Okay, and I'm gonna show it to you over here. You see, if I open it, okay, it has unzipped. It has unzipped the content. Okay, this file, and we have inside all the files that have been created. You see, this is how it actually works. Okay, I'm gonna delete that, and yeah, that's everything. I hope it's clear and that you enjoyed this video and this explanation of the archiving script. Okay, see you next time.